Literally, whatever you want, I will do to that chapter. Possibilities. I'm the final reader, so there's like a real responsibility for me to just bring this to a resounding close. I do feel a little bit bad that I'm not reading about like guns, a superhero, Harlem in the 1920s, a girl living aboard a boat, serial killers. Like, I mean, honestly, like I almost feel like I thought this novel was like really like exciting and awesome, but up against the lineup it sounds kind of dull, really. I apologize for that. But I do really want to thank you for coming. I know there are a lot of you in here, a few of you, a pinch, who are here for extra credit. And so I know that's part of your motivation for being here, but it doesn't really matter to me. It just matters that you're here to support Beating Windward, to support Orlando Arts, to support Urban Rethink. It means a lot to see a lot of faces here and to be able to read this. So I'll give you just a slight background on the novel itself. It's called American Fraternity Man. It's about a college graduate who goes to work for a national fraternity headquarters, and he travels all across the country to different fraternity houses doing workshops on leadership and alcohol, responsibility. So that's what you need to know sort of as the overall basis for the book. The other thing that's important is that this book takes place in 2008, so it's slightly before the age of Obama. And it's also in an era when, and there might be some of you in here who, if you're students, you don't really know this, like Facebook, like back in the day, right? When you used to update your status, it always had to start with like your name and then the word is. Like it always had to do that, right? Like for the first couple of years of Facebook, so no matter what you wrote, it would say like Nathan is, man, that was an interesting night. It just sounded like absolutely ridiculous. But that was part of Facebook for the first couple of years, and so that's sort of referenced in here. So if you're a little bit younger, you might not get that one. The other two really important things is this chapter takes place sort of early in the book. And this is sort of cut and pasted from the chapter that's available as the excerpt in the back. If you happen to get the chapbook, there's a lot more to it than what I'm reading. And there's a lot that's cut out just because, you know. But what you need to know is that the night before the events in this chapter take place, there was a giant party called the Senior Send-Off. And this character, his name is Charles Washington, threw this giant party called the Senior Send-Off to impress all of his fraternity brothers before he goes and takes this job. He invites all of the parents of all the fraternity brothers, and he makes it this huge deal, and he's going to impress everybody, but he does a lot of regrettable things and embarrasses himself. He also wanted to give his girlfriend a lavalier at the party, which is like sort of like a pre-engagement type of thing. If you've ever seen Scream 2, Jerry O'Connell gave his girlfriend a lavalier and then got stabbed to death, so there's that. Okay, so here we go. After the senior send-off, the Edison University campus emptied for the 3-month summer break, dorms and apartment buildings and fraternity houses going silent and dark. The EU staff members and professors hung up their blazers and ties and came to campus wearing seersucker shorts and Tommy Bahama button-downs, zipping in and out of their offices only to sign year-end paperwork and lug boxes of student portfolios to the dumpster. The classroom buildings at EU are ultra-modern 3-story structures with reflective ground-to-roof glass facades which glaze over with air conditioning condensation in the humid summers. Filled with students, the campus is lively, and you hardly pay attention to the architecture. But without students wandering on every sidewalk, it feels instead like an office park, like you're working on your Saturday off. For my final 2 weeks in town, I slept in the fraternity house president's room, and each morning woke up to say goodbye to another carload of brothers who were heading back home till August. The leftover liquor from the senior send-off lined the bar's countertop, sticky and heavy and unwanted, like a collection of extra pecan pies and fruitcakes after the end of the holiday season. For the first few days after the party, I found discarded cups and forks in the living room, in the courtyard, and I spent mornings Windexing the glass of the framed photos in our hallways, wiping away fruit punch-colored fingerprints and spit-out Sprite. Jen wasn't around for those 2 weeks. Over summers, she worked as a lifeguard in St. Pete. She was coming back down to Fort Myers for my final 2 days in town, and we were going to spend a full 48 hours together before I left for Indianapolis. out at the beach with a cooler full of Miller Lite and Sea Dog Blueberry, out for dinner and drinks at one of the hotel steakhouses, lunch the next day at a tiki bar. I still had the lavalier in a box in the glove compartment of my Explorer, but I couldn't give it to her. Not now, not anymore. The letters required ceremony. They required that my brothers bruise me and bloody me, that they dump sour milk over my shoulders and crack rotten eggs on my scalp. To give her the letters while everyone was out of town, it would rob the moment of meaning, render the lavalier as procedural as a Tuesday afternoon courthouse marriage. I could hope for Thanksgiving, perhaps, or Labor Day, or homecoming, sometime in the fall semester when I might return to town and make my commitment with all of my brothers present and get my ass beaten to make it official. But for our last night in town, it would just be the two of us, no speeches, or ceremonies, or jewelry. For those 2 weeks alone, I thought long and hard about the changes I needed to make in my life. I wanted to be a role model, a leader, but I just seemed to keep fucking it up. 2 weeks alone in the house, and I spent my time creating goal sheets for my new professional life. I created key categories, exercise, and healthy eating, and leadership development, with individual goals like fast food only 4 times weekly, jog 3 times weekly, and no gas station candy purchases ever. Every aspect of my life organized. Maybe it was as simple as separating egg white from yolk, as simple as scraping congealed fat from the top of refrigerated gravy, the bad from the good of Charles Washington, the frat star from the leader, a separation, a focusing on the best and not the worst. I didn't want to think about the senior send-off anymore either. I wanted to believe that my memories were just the strobe light flashes of some different man that I could leave behind in college, the same way I could leave behind all the old college bars, all the booty music. Leave the night behind, create a new profile, new man, new status updates. Charles is going to do this right. Charles is going to do everything right. Charles just needs to start over. I clipped a long metal rod to the hooks above each window in the backseat of my Explorer. The package claimed it would provide order and a comforting sense of home for my year of cross-country travel, my Explorer becoming my bedroom closet, my office, my whole life. I decided upon just the right clothes to bring and to buy, and just the right sequence in which to hang them. From far right, my Ralph Lauren suit, my 2 pairs dress pants, 4 dress shirts, 1 black wool winter coat, 1 navy and white windbreaker, 1 pair of jeans, 2 pairs khaki pants, 2 business casual polo shirts. I planned how to perfectly organize every square inch of the Explorer. 1 full year as a role model, and starting in August, 4 straight months of fraternity house hopping. I would not drift back into the college lifestyle, into drinking games and late night pizza and waking up at noon on someone's sofa. No slip-ups. Hell, I would eliminate the opportunity for slip-ups. I would be the man I was always supposed to be. It doesn't matter who you really are, Walter Lefebvre wrote in the Preparing for Life as a Fraternity Consultant email that I received just days after the senior send-off. It only matters what people think you are. Just Google yourselves, the email told us, so you can truly see what the world knows of you, how you might be perceived if anyone grows curious. Think about Facebook profiles, Twitter accounts, online photo albums. What was fun and cute a year ago is now professional suicide. The first time I'd Googled myself, back during freshman year of college, I wasn't expecting much. My name stretches back centuries, has been chiseled into 1,000 gravestones, and I've always relied on how easily I've been able to slink into anonymity should the need arise. At other times, I've relied on the more famous Charles Washington, the younger brother of America's first president, to steal attention and web traffic from me. Hell, I share a name with a hero, a patriot, a founder. We were Google buddies, and he wasn't going anywhere. But during freshman year, I found my own name on the 3rd page of the Google results, an old high school website I'd created for a world history project. I remember looking at the search result, the bold hypertext that would lead me to an online ghost town I'd built years before, and wondering if, like some abandoned general store, crumbling under stinging desert winds, it would ever disappear. By my senior year at EU, I was on the 2nd page of the search results. The fraternity letters, Nu Kappa Epsilon following, image results accompanying, further demarcating this Charles Washington from all others. So when asked to search my name online, anything seemed possible. Was I on the first page by now? And what new results would await? You'll want to make sure that the image you've given the world is truly the image you want the world to see, the email said. Everyone leaves a digital footprint, and it's hard to accomplish a mission, any mission, when you're sabotaging yourself. Had anyone at the national headquarters searched my name? It scared the hell out of me. After the email, this is what I found in descending order of relevance, the first page of 49 million results. Number 1, first, as expected, Wikipedia's entry for President George Washington's younger brother Charles, dead at age 60, shortly before his older brother passed. Also, some Google image results displaying Charles Washington's only known portrait. His face feels vaguely recognizable, a blurry Xerox of a more famous patriot. Number 2, next, a series of pages dedicated to 18th century Charles Washington's various historical markers across the Virginias, the Shenandoah Valley. Number 3, 4, 5, scroll down the page. A few other Charles Washingtons, attorneys whose names are remembered in law reviews, actors whose names are preserved on imdb.com, authors cataloged on Harper's Magazine's database. Number 25, then keep scrolling down the page. Ignore everything until you get to the bottom of the first page. Charles Washington, the search results tell you, offering a link to our national website. Educational consultant, Nu Kappa Epsilon, National Fraternity Headquarters. Yes, that sounds respectable. A few weeks before, the headquarters had posted a news release about my hiring, had created a full profile page on their website to tout my college accolades. How exciting to find my name here. But wait. Scroll back up. Number 6, the 6th result. My Facebook page, and a choice selection of party photos blinking like a red alert sign in the center of the web page. Oh, you can still see the original historic photos right above mine, the Charles Washington oil painting, the place markers, the words Charlestown on an old-timey 1770s map, and you could still see the professional Nu Kappa Epsilon site far down the page, but you wouldn't see any of it without also seeing a description of my full Facebook profile, my name and age and education and hometown, all paired with the digital images of the supposed role model standing on the armrest of a sofa with beer bottles in each hand, giving the thumbs up sign at bank shots while standing under a banner that said wet t-shirt contest, and behind me a girl shaking her slippery tits to the approval of the crowd. Sorry, comp students. And a dozen other photos just like these. Oh, and if you clicked onto the second page of search results, there was an old MySpace account too. Hadn't been used in over a year, but full of vulgar Anchorman quotes. I want to be on you. Mr. Burgundy, you have a massive erection. A profile page now spammed with comments from strippers and porn sites, bare-breasted women licking the webcam and asking me to visit the link below for some action. The sort of comments I would have deleted if I'd still cared about MySpace, but here was civilization left to the wind and snow and rain of the internet. Junk comments piled high in my forgotten profile, one after the next, like weeds and topsoil over cold train tracks. And there was even a comment from Renee, my cousin in Georgia. Wow, Charles, haven't checked your MySpace in a while. And so, like a criminal returning to the scene of his crime, I tried to wipe the internet clean of any trace that I'd been here, that I'd been there. A post on a Fort Myers newspaper forum lamenting the change in tailgate areas for EU football games, deleted. An old string of back and forth comments about Eminem's rap feud with Ja Rule, posted on an entertainment gossip site, deleted. How would I even wound up here, I wonder? How was it possible that these traces of myself were so widespread? Snapfish photo albums, Ancestry.com photos, Kodak.com photo albums, years and years of accumulated internet settlements, all of them open to the public. I sent emails to the web technicians of the EU intramural sports page, the annual Shamrock Chicken Wing Eating Contest, the Memorial Day Drink Around the World Challenge. Take my finishing times off your websites, please. I'm no longer affiliated in any way with your organization. Taking a towel to my fingerprints across the web, sweeping the floor, mopping muddy footprints from the ground, finding any hint that I'd ever existed anywhere but right here, right now. MySpace account deleted, Rivals.com profile deleted, and then one final Facebook status update typed just before I left the fraternity house in Fort Myers for good, telling the Facebook world farewell. By the time I checked my profile later that evening, unfurling below the status like the plastic sheet baby pictures dropping from the inside of a father's wallet were nearly 50 comments. But then it was over. Click of a button, account deactivated at 5:44 p.m. and it was done. Charles is clean, I thought. But on the day that I left Fort Myers and headed to Indianapolis for training, I texted Jen to give her an update on my travels, and a strange thing happened. I started to type, "I found the hotel that you booked for me," but the phone's auto-finish feature immediately completed the statement as "I fuck," and so I went back to erase the word fuck and start over, typed again, and then it auto-completed with "I found tits," and tits, really? So I went back, erased, typed "I found the hotel tits," and I erased and retyped, and before we were done with our text conversation, the phone had auto-finished the following additional words: booze, fucking, shitstorm, and fraternity. How many times must someone type booze in text messages, I wondered, before it becomes a phone's favorite choice for auto-finish? Thank you so much for being here.